Last week we talked about Jaguar's new woke ad that they just put out. It's an ad for their cars, I guess, but it doesn't feature any cars or anything. It features nothing that has anything to do with cars or anything that would remotely make anyone want to buy one of their cars. And if you haven't seen this ad somehow yet, let's go ahead and play that again. Okay, so there's the ad. And actually, the first time we talked about this last week, I was slightly hesitant in talking about it because in the back of my mind anyway, I'm thinking to myself, like, are we sure this isn't some sort of parody? Are we sure this isn't satirical in some way? Is this some kind of joke that I'm just not getting? Am I getting trolled here? But no, it turns out that was not meant to be a joke. It was 100% serious. So you've probably seen you've also seen the redesigned logo that they have there. And it went from a logo that looked kind of slick and cool and masculine, a look that makes sense with a name like Jaguar, to this new look, which to me, just based on the look and the font, kind of looks like a brand of cheap fruity wine for women or something. It definitely doesn't look like a car company brand. So this redesign and the new look and everything has been roundly mocked by everybody everywhere for good reason. And that has prompted finally a response from Jaguar's managing director. And this is how we know that it wasn't meant to be a joke. So I'm going to read now from, this is from a website called mylondon.com. Jaguar's managing director, Rawdon Glover, has expressed his disappointment over the vile hatred and intolerance seen in reactions to a new advert from the luxury car maker. The company faced a storm of online criticism for the ad. Glover explained that Jaguar needs to stand out. If we play in the same way that everybody else does, we'll just get drowned out. So we shouldn't try to turn up like an auto brand. We need to reestablish our brand at a completely different price point, so we need to act differently. Oh yeah, that's right, because that's marketing 101 apparently. If you're an auto brand, you don't want to seem like an auto brand. Now wait a second, isn't that exactly what you want? Isn't that whatever the brand is? Don't you want to seem like a brand for that thing? Like don't you want people to know what it is you're selling from an ad? Isn't that literally the whole point of the ad? But you know what? We're not going to even get into that. I don't need to dissect what this guy has said. There's really no part of this worth remarking on, except just this, the guy's name. The head of Jaguar, which just put out the gayest car ad of all time, is named Rawdon Glover. Rawdonglover. Rawdon Glover. That's his name. Rawdon Glover. That's just his name. I don't have any other. I just wanted to point out that's his name. I had to verify this. I didn't believe it. I saw this when people were tweeting about it, that the guy's name is Rawdon Glover. And I said, no, come on. That's a joke. That's not a real. There's no way that's real. So I Googled it. I had to Google Rawdon Glover. There's no way around it. I had to actually Google it to find out. And yeah, that's his name. Rawdon Glover is his name. If your last name is Glover, how do you give your child the first name Rawdon? Is that even a name? Is that an actual name people have? Was this intentional by the parents? That's the real story here. Like, there's a whole drama here behind the scenes about this guy and his parents. Your last name's Glover. It's like the most basic last name. You know what? It's hard to screw that up. There are some last names that are a little tricky. You got to pair it with it. You got to figure out what to pair it with. But Glover is like almost anything works in front of Glover. Almost any name. You chose the one name that doesn't work. You chose the one name for Glover that turns it into something horrifically gay. I mean, you can't tell me that wasn't intentional. You can't tell me that. How could it not be? And I'm always shocked that there are parents out there who still don't realize this. And I'm giving the parents the benefit of the doubt on this thing, that this was a mistake. But you have to think about the combination of the first and last name and consider what its other meanings might be. And one of the most important considerations in the naming process, and we've been through this 6 times with our kids, so we've run this exercise 6 times. You have to imagine, I thought all parents do this. Again, this is like the first thing we do when we think of a name. Before we get into, that name has meaning, it's a biblical name, a saint name. Before you get to that, you think, okay, what are all the ways that your children's peers in the future might turn your child's name into an insult? Which is easy for me, because I just have to think back to, okay, when I was in 5th grade, what would I have said about this name? And, you're always going to have a few names that you like, but you have to abandon because you realize that they could be rhymed in a certain way or pronounced a certain way or abbreviated a certain way. For example, my wife, for a long time, she really wanted to name one of our boys Titus. And it's a cool name, I admit. She made a good case for it. She says it is a Catholic saint. And also it sounds like a Roman emperor. It is a Roman emperor. It sounds like a gladiator or something. Titus, it's a strong name. But I said, the first 3 letters of the kid's name cannot be T-I-T. They're going to be homeschooled, but still, I'm not going to throw them in. They're going to be on a playground one day. They're going to have friends. You can't throw them in. You just can't do that to them. You're making it too easy. Making it too easy on these other kids. Giving them the first 3 letters are T-I-T. You can't do it. So, none of those things were considered for Raw Dawn Glover. And now look at him. A self-fulfilling prophecy. It's a shame. Hey, YouTube, thanks for listening to the show. If you'd like access to my full show with no ads, you should go to dailywire.com and use promo code Walsh to get 2 months free on all annual plans. See you there.